Highmark Stadium in another soccer Saturday here in Pittsburgh. I'm Matt Geico, alongside Gene Klein and Paul Child, coming to you tonight on ESPN+. No doubt about it, it's looking like the biggest regular season match in the 7-year history of Highmark Stadium, with just 4 weeks to go in the season. These two teams you see there on your screen, Pittsburgh and Indy, both have a shot at taking a wide open race for first place in the USL's Eastern Conference. In fact, for the Hounds, here at home, they could be considered the favorite. They still have a game in hand on most of their competition, and they've been in fine form lately. Let's look at those standings, which are tight as can be in the top 5. Really rather incredible to look at. Red Bulls, too, getting a 1-1 draw last night, but they're idle this evening are the Baby Bulls. So an opportunity for Indy, Tampa, Nashville, or Pittsburgh. Any of them could jump into first by the end of the night, and we are getting down to it, as you see there in the games played column. As for Indy, though, Gene Klein, a team that's built its reputation and its success this season on defense, but back-to-back losses on the road, the two teams well below them in the standings and giving up 4 goals in the process.
Very uncharacteristic of Indy 11 and a Martin Rennie coach team, Matt. You see some goals here where players are unmarked, going up freely for headers, and that usually does not happen, and I'm sure that their coaching staff is going to try to correct that for tonight.
Indy calling it disappointing. Now, those were the words of Martin Rennie, in fact, earlier this week as they try to get back on track. For the Hounds, well, it wasn't exactly the prettiest road trip ever, but they got 4 out of a possible 6 points despite playing most of the match at Nashville, a man down. The red card to Toby Adewale, the center back stalwart. But Paul Child, they held on for a 0-0 draw, and then they beat Memphis 3 days later, 1-0.
No, they've got to be really happy with that, I think, Matt. You know, 4 points out of 6, it's pretty good. And coming away at a win in Nashville with 1 goal, they hold on. I watched that game and did a great job of holding them out and looking really good going into this game.
On short rest, critical to get that early goal, and Joe Greenspan did off the Robbie Mertz corner kick. Well, we're looking forward to a terrific night of soccer here. 2 of the Titans in the East, no other way to say it, are colliding on the shores of the Monongahela. Stay with us for kickoff on ESPN+.
Okay, go ahead and stand up for me. Good. Okay.
Oh my gosh, this is just...
Now, if you get home and that's a little more tender,
Can I give you a hug? I can't believe it. I was in surgery this morning. Oh my gosh.
Call 412 Doctors to schedule an appointment at Allegheny Health Network.
Pittsburgh Riverhounds SC season tickets for the 2020 season are now on sale with special early bird pricing. Until October 5th, fans can enjoy a 20% discount on all season tickets, from club level to the supporters section and everything in between. For more information on season tickets, please visit riverhounds.com or call the box office at 412-865-GOAL.
Explore a world of music on WQED.
Explore sweater sessions on WQED.
Explore educational opportunities.
Explore science.
Explore early childhood learning.
Explore Nebby on WQED.
Explore the power of the arts.
Explore Pittsburgh Eats.
Explore diversity on WQED.
Well, we can't say that the winner of tonight's match will be in first place in the Eastern Conference after tonight. Pretty good shot, and that is enough for us to get really fired up about this Hounds and Indy 11 matchup, the 3rd of the season between these two teams. 1 in U.S. Open Cup here, 1 in league play out in Indy. Let's look at the starting 11 for the Indy 11, managed by Martin Rennie, the 43-year-old from Scotland, in his 2nd season in charge of Indiana's pro soccer squad. And the one missing name is Paddy Barrett, Gene, because he got a red card at the end of the match at Atlanta, so 25 starts on the back line. He'll be out tonight for Indy.
Yeah, that will be a miss for Indy 11. They'll certainly be missing him, but they have plenty of depth on this side, Matt, and I'm sure they're going to be able to fill their squad out without any difficulty at all.
And there you see Tyler Pasher, former Hound, back. Now he's playing forward in Indy. He's got 10 goals. As for Pittsburgh, managed by Bob Lilly, also in his second season, the 53-year-old from Fort Monmouth, New Jersey, throws out this group. Pittsburgh is right smack dab in the middle of a stretch of 5 matches in 15 days, Paul Child. So you're seeing some rotation. Danny Rovira gets the start in the place of Ryan James on the outside wing.
Yes, obviously because of that many games as well, Matt. I think he had to throw some people in different positions, and he's done a good job of doing that all season. When he needs somebody, he can get somebody in a position. They've done a great job for him, and now as he's coming down to the wire, he's going to start putting good players back into the rotation again and switch them around.
Last match at Memphis, the Hounds grinded out a 1-0 win on Tuesday on a couple of days rest. They had Noah Frankie and Sammy Kasai in the starting lineup, and today, as we mentioned, it's the rookie Rovira on the outside, but it's Dos Santos and Brett at the top, Morton in the back, Greenspan, Adewale, Bunky Azil, they're all in. So is Jordan Dover, who serves this one long on the first play of the game. So, yeah, plenty of stalwarts, and there's the most steady of those in Canardo Forbes laying it back to Adewale. We're underway from Pittsburgh, and it's Kevin Kerr taking a step up.
And Kevin's starting to buzz already, starting to knock this ball around, and the Hounds should be feeling really good after that win in Nashville.
And they should be feeling some water on their shoulders right now. It has begun to rain.
Yep.
We've seen some lightning in the area, but we have not heard about a possible delay as of yet. So we've started on time, but here's a giveaway. And, well, Indy can't connect with Pasher, who was open there just at the edge of the attacking third. Ioze now, the veteran defender, overwhelmed in the midfield by Dover, and Pittsburgh gets it back. We're in the black and gold, attacking down to our right toward the Steel Army. And some members of the Brickyard Battalion are mixed in, too, as well, making the trip from Indiana. And as I mentioned, these teams have played here this year before. 1-0 Hounds got the win in U.S. Open Cup play. Third round action there.
This game a lot more important, Matt.
Yeah, a little bit.
Now, obviously, coming down to the wire here with all these teams so close together at the top.
5 teams could be in first by the end of the night in the Eastern Conference. And stretching out Dabo, but he cannot keep that ball alive before it goes over the byline. He was colliding there with defender Mitchell Osmond of Indy.
Rain really coming down now, and pretty much straight down. It doesn't seem to be moving any which way. As we know, this surface, as soon as it gets some water on the top of it, it's really slick. Is when you take some shots at the keeper, hard and low, create some chances maybe that's going to catch him.
Well, Evan Newton's the keeper for Indy, 26th start. He has 9 clean sheets. He won the Golden Glove last year with FC Cincinnati, where he made 20 starts and a .8 goals against average last year for the squad that left the USL and moved to Major League Soccer.
Matt and Paul, just look at Indy 11's midfield, and it almost looks like they're in a diamond shape midfield with Ilyich at the top of the diamond, Drew Connor holding in front of the back four, Gibson and Macaulay King out a little bit wide. And I got to think that Martin Rennie's a little concerned with the movement and the mobility of the midfield in Pittsburgh with Kevin Kerr, Canardo Forbes, Matt, and Mo Dabo, and how they're going to handle things, and maybe to try to counteract that a little bit. He's going to try to squeeze things in the midfield as we see the rain starting to cool.
Just saw a flash of lightning too.
Big lightning strike. No thunder yet. It appears the cell is trying to skirt us to the north just barely. It'd be nice to catch a break here in terms of weather for once. It's been the driest September on record, and of course we get rain in the final match of September here. And if you followed the Hounds for any stretch of time, you know we're used to this at Highmark Stadium. Pasher looking over his shoulder, but it'll be Adewale for the Hounds handling that.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. Pasher being up front now and used to play left fullback.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, when we saw him in Pittsburgh, he was playing a left back and sometimes a left midfield.
Yeah, flying up and down the line because he's got a tremendous amount of speed and creates problems. But now, obviously, maybe he's found his niche, and I think he's got 10 goals, right?
That leads the Indy squad, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's really impressive for his development.
Greenspan. Oh no, he heads it back. A big mistake. And Indy's going to hit the post with it. Dave Kelly. Oh my goodness!
Oh boy, what a break!
That's a total break. I don't know how that he could not get that one into the back of the net.
Boy, this was a complete mess up between the goalkeeper and the defender.
We haven't seen that all year from Joe Greenspan or Kyle Morton. They've been playing together for a while now.
Yeah, definite miscommunication between Morton and Joe Greenspan. Joe wanted to knock it back, and Kyle Morton was really off his line quickly trying to pick that up, and
just floated right over his head to nobody, and that's when the player ran onto it and got a great opportunity.
The Riverhounds dodged the lightning bolt there. No,
they did.
Pun intended.
Hopefully they'll.
Here comes the cross, and it's headed clear by Macaulay King, not all the way out. Dover steps up, and he's dispossessed at the last possible moment. Fine work from Neville Hackshaw, the former Charleston Battery. Dane Kelly has the most goals ever in the USL Championship, and he missed that one. How do you like that?
Yeah.
Even the best players can't get them all the time, you know. Sometimes it's not working right, but boy, that was a break.
He probably could have walked it in for his 68th career
He probably
goal.
could have, because he could have taken another little touch there and whatever, but difficult one.
Well, the Hounds have the most clean sheets in the East. Indy's allowed the fewest goals in the league. One mistake like that could very easily determine this match, and it's erased by the hit post.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that neither side wants is to concede an early goal like that, and certainly one that wasn't the most creative in the world. So, but we're still level, and that one is forgotten about, I'm sure.
A weird start to this one as Pasher is stripped by Kevin Kerr. Kerr's the only Hound who played with Pasher back in 2015. Pasher appeared more than 20 times, a Canadian native. Kerr in his 7th season with the squad. Davo pressuring Hackshaw, who's wearing the captain's armband tonight, and it'll be a throw for Indy 11.
That's hard to believe, Matt. What this roster's been through. If Kevin Kerr's the only one that was here when Tyler Pasher was here.
Yeah, that is a big change around.
Yeah. We've had a couple coaching changes, and certainly that plays a role. But it's
only 3 players have been here for 3 years. So
seen a lot of players come and go over the years for sure.
This team was reinvented when Bob Lilly took over big time 2 off seasons ago. They barely lost here at home. They haven't lost at all here at home this year. Illich. They haven't trailed in the first half here at home since Nashville came in.
Oh, he's a great opportunity here.
Pasher playing Kelly, but it's taken away. Danny Rovira, the rookie, got in the way of it. That had promise for Indy.
It really did. Pasher tried to slip it into Dane Kelly, who made a nice little run, to try to get behind the back line.
We're finally going to get a look at this as we have a slight opportunity to squeeze in a replay.
Boy, that's where that was that.
Yeah, it was just running away from Dane Kelly a little bit.
Yeah,
Paul,
and again, the
Kelly shot's blocked now. Back to live action.
The slick surface probably messed him up a little bit.
Hounds skating around a bit out there.
Yeah, Pasher's giving the Hounds all kinds of difficulty.
Dos Santos looked to cut back, but resistance in the middle of the park. Connor got in the way. Ayoze goes by one name.
A little bit more lightning again.
We saw a flash. The referee did not signal a stoppage. Malik Badawi is the man in the middle.
I'm sure they have, medical teams with lightning detectors and trying to determine how far that lightning is away.
Yeah.
Right.
And then they will get that to the 4th official, who will get it to the center official.
Drew Connor pulls it down.
And I see a lot of talking going on right now with the 4th official, so we might have a delay.
Pasher's going to cross it in, way too much on this ball as it slides by Kelly and out for a Pittsburgh goal kick.
Indy putting some real pressure on the Hounds right off the bat here, Gino and Matt.
They are. They're looking very good.
They're looking very confident, positive, and we've seen that before here. And then the Hounds kind of like break out and get a.
Well, what we've seen often is a terrific start by the Riverhounds, right? And this is one of the few times that we have seen a team come out and get the Riverhounds on their back heels
and dictate,
a little bit.
Yeah.
Indy all year has probably underachieved in terms of conversion rate. They're 20th in the league. The Hounds are first, tied with Phoenix and a couple other squads. So finishing chances has been a problem spot for Martin Rennie. He even talked about it this week, saying they continue to work on that. They continue to believe in this attacking core with Pasher and Kelly and Ilya Illich, who was a big player for Louisville in the past couple of seasons. Well, there's the lightning delay.
There it is, yeah.
There it is. Malik Badawi is going to usher the teams off to their respective locker rooms, and at 9 minutes exactly in this first half, we'll take a break. So a big chance missed by the 11, and now both teams get a chance to think about the opening few.
You know, Bob Lilly has a good chance to talk to Greenspan and the keeper and try and get them on the same page. You know?
Really?
All trying to figure it out. Well, it's hard to say who might have the advantage after the delay, but we do know Indy's been on the front foot more.
Yeah, really, and I think it's almost a welcome break for Bob Lilly and the Riverhounds to try to get the Hounds back together and get them back on the front foot. For Indy 11, they have to be disappointed because they started off really well.
Oh yeah, very well, and they've been putting pressure on even after that the ball hit the post. You know, they've been really pressuring.
Yep.
And made it very, very difficult for the Hounds to get across into their end. So I think it is a good break for the Hounds, to be honest with you.
That's one way to look at it. Another way to look at it is it'll at least be a half an hour. We know that much when it comes to a lightning delay. And as you see, the rain continues to fall. It'll be a slick surface when we resume this evening. Keep it here on ESPN Plus as we shall return for more soccer from the South Side. Well, we've had worse weather delays here at Highmark Stadium. This one, as it stands, will end up being a shade over an hour. We are back. This match is just barely into, well, pardon me, just shy of the 10th minute. As we look back at the weather that moved through and put us on delay, the Hounds and Indy 11 battling for what could be the first place spot in the Eastern Conference up for grabs. And as we all know in the sport of soccer, it's not as much about the rain. It was rather torrential for a bit, but it's about the lightning, and that's what we couldn't play through, but it clears out, and we got a decent look at a Pittsburgh sunset after all was said and done. The biggest moment of this match so far, we definitely had one, a pivotal moment, a ball over the head of the Hounds back line, and Joe Greenspan nods it past Kyle Morton, the keeper. Dane Kelly, guys, has an open look at the net, and he rings it off the woodwork.
Yeah, it was just sort of, the ball was going away from him, Matt, and he just really couldn't get around it. I think with Greenspan, he was not expecting Kyle Morton to be there, Paul.
No, Kyle Morton was at least 20 yards out of the goal, 25 maybe, which was a long, long way, and that's where they both got caught. But looks like we're off and running right now here.
Ready to go. And what we saw there also in those first 9 minutes, guys, was Indy 11 really came out strong and really put the Riverhounds back in a defensive posture.
Yeah, I think Bob Lilly's had a chance to talk to his players and say, hey, it's time, we've got to change this around and go put the pressure right back on Indy right now.
Well, it feels like a new game.
It looks like it right now.
Yeah. There was Nico Brett at the top of the formation. He's usually the one running down defenders and goalkeepers, putting them under duress. Tyler Pasher can do that too, but he mishandled the ball. Thomas Vankiazil has it, through ball up, breaking a line to Nico Brett. Brett squares it. Forbes,
nice little
Jamaican countryman, makes a nice little touch. And he has Danny Rovira making a run to his left, but he'll pull it back into the midfield again. I'm Matt Geika. Gene Klein and Paul Child are alongside. Oops. Titanic clash here in Pittsburgh. Vankiazil will run on and bail out his teammate Forbes. And Pittsburgh keeps the ball, already their best run of possession in this match.
Yeah, it really has, and they have come out like we have normally seen them here at Highmark, which is coming out really strong and pressing pretty high and trying to put the opposition back on their heels a little bit, which is where Indy 11 has them. But great run of possession, as you said, Matt, for the Riverhounds right now.
Just on the edge of creating a chance. Forbes found Kerr wide. Kerr doesn't have a point in a couple of months. It's 5 goals and 3 assists, but it was all done in the first half of the season. He'd love to break that drought tonight.
Be a perfect night for him to do it tonight.
Hounds really doing well right here. Kept possession for a long time here for this last 2 or 3 minutes, and are really moving and doing some, creating some chances, looking for a space to get through here. Even though Indy's pushing them way back there, Gino.
But they were able to break their lines a little bit, Paul, and find some of that space which they couldn't find in the first half. It was pretty clogged up in the midfield. And part of that was because of Indy's pressing on the Riverhounds and not really allowing them any freedom to get at. And the Riverhounds could not find any box space. And we thought Indy 11 was really moving the ball very, very well. And Tyler Pasher and Dane Kelly were very dangerous to start the match.
Yeah. We're setting this match up. The Hounds are the team in the top 5 in the East on the best form at the moment. And meanwhile, Indy's dropped 2 in a row for the first time all year. They're playing their 3rd consecutive road match. They played a ton at Lucas Oil Stadium in the middle of the summer. And now they have to see the flip side of the schedule. Indy also unbeaten.
That's a nice ball.
Dos Santos takes a swing. Ambitious, but you have to like it, and it was a good ball in.
Yeah, I think that was a great opportunity, and he was a little bit unlucky there. It skidded right off the outside of his foot, but you could see him winding up as that ball was coming across. And again, putting pressure on this Indy team.
Yeah, they're pressing really, really high. You see DeSantos and Nico Brett up in the penalty area, and they're forced to go over top there to Dane Kelly.
Indy tried on the counter, yeah.
Vankiazil was able to clean it up.
Tommy V couldn't get it through the middle of the park, but Kerr's there to pick up the loose change. Kerr and Canardo Forbes, very veteran pair in that midfield.
Nice ball
now
through.
Abo takes it, relays. Nico Brett shot is blocked. Back to Forbes.
Well, terrific movement by the Riverhounds since they came out after the delay here and really moving the ball well. And just watching the Pittsburgh midfield with Forbes and Kerr and Dabo, and man, they are moving around a lot. And I'm sure that's what probably was told them to do, because again, the first 9 minutes we did not see that at all, and we saw Indy 11 control in the midfield.
We just saw Tyler Pasher try to beat Joe Greenspan to the outside, and Joe did a pretty nice job. Didn't even get called for a foul as Pasher went to ground. This will be a free kick for Indy. Just a couple of fouls called so far, both on Pittsburgh. In the opening 14, a rain delay of about an hour and a quarter. Jose will take this ball at the midfield stripe, but he's confronted by a couple of Hounds. It hops loose. Bankiazil and Kerr, but now chested down by Tyler Gibson. Pick free by Jordan Dover, the wingback.
Yeah, he did a good job there. I don't know how he got his foot wrapped around him, but he got the ball off him, and here go the Hounds again down the line.
Dos Santos holds up, as he often does. Even Dos Santos 40 USL goals.
A great movement by the Riverhounds. I mean,
yeah, they definitely
really moving it side to side. I see Kerr finding little pockets of space. Dover getting up very, very high up the pitch.
Oh, well stopped.
Rivera, did he draw a foul? He did.
He did.
Yeah, he did well there too. Good to see him getting his body in front of the player, and the player had no option but to knock him down and get away with a free kick for the Hounds.
Well, there we go. Rivera drawing a foul. We saw Dover up here very high, up on the right flank, and there's Rivera up, 25, 30 yards from goal. So they're pushing their outside backs up pretty high and really trying to put some pressure on the back line of Indy 11.
Yeah. Seems to be working in this post-rain delay portion of the match. Rivera, the rookie from Vermont, just his 4th start of the season in what is the biggest match of the season to this point for the Hounds. There could be bigger ones down the line, but you have a chance like this to play a team up there with you. Driven through! I cannot believe that strike! And the Hounds have the lead. It's Brett burying it top right corner.
Boy, that was traveling. That ball was traveling. I thought, is that for real? And it just took off like a jet.
It did. I mean, you expected that ball to sail, and it just struck right into the upper 90. Oh, beautiful strike by Nico Brett. That thing was flying on a rope.
What a great time for a goal too. Right back out for this 15 minutes in, and really starting to put the pressure right back on Indy's plate.
Have we seen a better hit this season from a Hound or anyone?
No.
For anyone.
Whoa, that's a laser.
Don't know, that was an absolute laser, Paul. I mean, he just absolutely caught that one perfectly, didn't he? Cleanly, perfectly, and just ripped it.
Yeah.
I mean, normally you're seeing somebody trying to bend that in there, and he just went with power.
If you see a replay, I think you're gonna, if they get a picture of the ball, you're gonna see it just not moving at all.
Yeah,
it's
no
just
rotation at all.
No rotation whatsoever.
Yeah.
He just caught that sweet.
Wow.
Nico Brett, the pride of Kingston, Jamaica, and Robert Morris University just down the road. Brett has his 11th of the season after 15 last year. He's climbing the rankings in the all-time Hounds goal scorers list, and none bigger than that one, boys.
Yeah, no, none bigger than that one. I mean, we've seen him score a few goals the last 2 years, Matt, and that was absolutely sublime, man. Perfect strike.
We've seen a couple of those over the past 2 years. Forbes had one against Bethlehem Steel. Down to our left, Mohamed Dabo.
Dabo had one
against Tampa last year. Right. Those are the only two that really come to mind that rival that, and I think that's the best of the bunch.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think so. That was just so well hit and traveling. Couldn't do a thing about it.
No, you really couldn't. I mean, so wow.
And unique to see him take a free kick. We don't often see Nico take free kicks.
No,
we don't. I was looking for Bernardo Forbes to step up there, and he just went up and put his foot through it, man, and it's just...
That's pretty neat, though, isn't it, Gino, when you see a guy who doesn't take the free kicks usually. He's usually at the far post or somewhere, and then he makes his mind up and puts himself on the spot and say, hey, I'm taking this one, and I know what I'm going to do with it, and he definitely did.
Well, one of the interesting things we talked about at the break is that if anybody was going to benefit from it, it was going to be the Riverhounds, and they have taken advantage of that hour-long plus
Delay.
break and delay and really came out flying.
Dos Santos on the run, trying to ground the cross into Dabo. He gets it right back, does Steven Dos Santos. Dos Santos 9 goals, Brett 11. They've combined for 20 now. Cross coming in, no one home, but Hackshaw a bit nervously plays that.
Yeah, they weren't real sure about that one.
And it's handed over to Kerr. Over with the split, but the ball didn't quite get there to him to allow for that type of a gambit. Kerr back to Greenspan. The Hounds lead 1-0 on a Nico Brett free kick goal. Ballpark at about 25 yards. Remember, Danny Rovira drew that foul and set up the chance. So the rookie makes a difference. And the second-year Hound Brett pays it off. Oh, Dos Santos went flying on the collision.
Yeah, he got caught there really bad on his left ankle.
Yeah, I think is Osmond going to get booked here? I'm not sure.
It was number 5, Mitchell Osmond, the center back, who will now have a chat.
Yeah, he's not getting a card, but
he's getting the old talking to, you know. So it's.
Please don't do that again.
Something like that.
Was pretty
Osmond, the Australian. This is his first pro team.
Here's another good opportunity here for a good cross here to Greenspan.
Not a bad one, Greenspan. He's often on the end of some of those.
A little bit too deep.
Way too deep, yeah.
So Newton sprays it out near side, and Indy probably a little shocked by that goal. They're trying to regain their balance.
Yeah, they really have come out, come out slow, but I think it was, to the Riverhounds' credit that they really came out flying and had tremendous movement off the ball. I think Indy 11 is having a tough time struggling to pick up their tempo so that they can put the Riverhounds under pressure. But if anybody can do it, here's this kid, Tyler Pasher.
Speaking of tempo, he's onto it.
He's flying.
Pasher trying to slip it through. Connor was the intended receiver. Pittsburgh gets it back. Brett wanted to flick it ahead, but Carl Ouimet got in the way, and then Brett commits the foul, trying to regain possession. And look out here as referee Badawi checks on Macaulay King, who took that boot to the back of the leg. Badawi appears to be keeping his cards in his pocket. Brett's thankful for that, of course.
Yeah, and I think rightfully so. I mean, a couple of challenges, trying to keep it calm, but he does want to keep the cards in the pocket, and I think both teams appreciate that.
Hackshaw into a picket fence, colored gold.
Free
Hackshaw
kick.
gets called for the foul, back the other way. This first half presented by number 1 Cochran and the clearly better car buying experience. One for a reason, number 1 Cochran. Pittsburgh's trying to get to number 1, and while we were sitting here trading out the rain delay, we did get a chance to watch Louisville and Tampa Bay, a very relevant match to both these teams. This ball will be headed out to Forbes, and now Indy can try to get it going. Louisville leads 1-0. Now Dane Kelly looking to beat Morton to the ball, but Kyle Morton made the proper first step.
Yeah, that time he was in the right spot. And
it was a long way out to get.
It was a long way out, but he's very connected with his line, and I guess he feels he can read those balls behind the back line.
Yeah. We did that one for sure too. Yeah. That was a good, great move by him.
Yeah, Dane Kelly was off and running. He might have had a step on Ronky Azil.
But anyway, if Louisville holds on and wins, they're 15 minutes away from doing so, then the winner of this match can move into first with a victory. So very important stuff going on in Kentucky. Rovira, can he save it? Yes, he did. It'll be a throw, and that's big. No corner kick for Indy.
And he's got the ball again.
Look at him go, nearly arriving on the scene. Rovira, born in Columbia, went to University of Vermont, a couple of seasons there. Now Dabo runs up.
I think we've seen Rivera's confidence grow as well when he's been getting in there now and again. He's getting more and more, and you can see it there, the desire of winning balls and making it very difficult for the opponents.
Yeah, I mean, we're used to seeing Ryan James out there. And hasn't been a drop-off. He's done very well, and of course As we saw before, he drew the foul that led to Nico Brett putting the Riverhounds up 1-0.
Yes, good mention of Ryan James there. We didn't talk about it in the pregame, but that's the place that Rivera is filling right now, that left flank. And James, well, if he sits out this entire match, it'll be the first time this season he does so. He's played in all 29 to date, and he started 27 of them. Only Forbes has better numbers in that category with 28 starts. Bunky Azil banged it out into touch.
And I wouldn't be surprised to see him get in at some stage as the night goes on.
Oh, that's true. That's right. He is not eligible.
Oh, he's not even
tonight.
on the line.
So a surprise there. I know that.
Yeah, I just realized it when I just looked down.
He worked his tail off at Nashville and Memphis. So helped secure 4 of his possible 6 points on this recent trip. For Bob Lilly's Hounds, who lead here. Trying to make it another win here at home. Long way to go, but here's Forbes. Speculative mission, and now slows it down.
And goes a scenic route.
Takes a little loop, does he not? Kerr to Forbes. About halfway through this opening half. Plenty of fans have stuck around too. Kudos to them.
Good for them. Yeah, Riverhounds showing a lot of patience here right now, and just really trying to maintain possession with some great movement.
Wimet gets the head in for Indy. Movement and patience, yeah. When those two are both present, the Hounds have looked darn near unbeatable here at home, especially. They have been literally unbeatable this season at 9-0-6 to this point.
But
here's an opportunity. Gibson serves one. Iose, the cutback. Iose's cross.
Kelly.
Got a man. Oh, by Morton. Got 2 hands on it. Dane Kelly was the target on the back post.
Morton did really well there. That thing looked like it was shooting into the back of the net off the turf, and just got 2 hands and punched it right back out.
Dover broke up the pass from Pasher, and you said it, that turf is a little bit wet right now as well, so it might be tougher to read.
So the best chance for Indy 11 since that ill-fated back pass right before the delay, and they did pick it up that.
Dos Santos, can he beat Newton? Not a chance there. Ball moving toward Newton and away from Stephen.
So you got to think, Paul, that Indy 11 experience. Oh, experience side. They're going to know. They know how to weather these storms, and the Riverhounds came out really, really strong. But now, are they going to get their legs back a little bit and start developing some rhythm of their own, and kind of get back where they were at the beginning?
Yeah, get that confidence coming back again, Gino. You know that. Giving the ball away like that's not going to help. But they've slowed the pace down and everything, and the Hounds just kind of take the foot up the gas. And
we'll look at the save from Morton.
Here it is. Yeah, Garcia, boom, Kelly. He gets up with some power, and Morton does very well to get down to make that save.
Yeah,
so twice Dane Kelly could have easily cashed in tonight.
Yeah, he got both hands and fists on that ball and punched it back down to the ground.
Al Morton, who has 13 shutouts in 22 career pro starts. And we haven't even mentioned this. The Hounds are working on a 6-match clean sheet streak. Their best in franchise history. Kelly's had 2 looks. Couldn't beat the post, and then he couldn't beat Morton. So Kerr settles in.
Well, normally when the Riverhounds are playing a lockdown defense, we see that a lot, and with a lot of pressure and a lot of organization. But the way they've been, I think, for this streak is what we're seeing now, with tremendous patience and possession, and other teams can't. They have to chase the game. They can't get the ball.
Yeah, it just wears a team down. You know, when you're chasing, you get sick of that really quick.
Kerr wanted to feather it through to a breaking Dover. Now Kerr keeps it alive. So does Dabo. And Dos Santos right back over to the boys in gold. Hounds with 15 wins on the year. 3rd most in team history.
Canardo Forbes, wisely just brings it back out, doesn't see anything.
Start over.
Yeah, Indy 11, dropped pretty deep, kept their lines pretty tight.
They got 5 guys back in defense here.
Yeah.
They've really...
It is 2-0 Louisville against Tampa. So they're in the late stages. Looks like the defending champs, two-time defending champs, are going to take all 3 points. And so it puts even more importance on this one, as if there wasn't enough already.
Exactly. Stakes get a little higher.
Dos Santos around Dabo. He's in against Newton. Poked it around him. Dabo catches up. Newton recovers. Dabo putting it into the middle. Brett couldn't turn it. Dos Santos will, and he flubbed it.
Yeah, the ball wasn't that good to him, and he was really stretching there. I thought Nico Brett was going to get a turn in and get a toe on the end of this one.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised at Newton here, because I thought he had this one off the ground, and then he delayed and just tried to make his body big. I thought he was going to go through and try to smother that play, the Riverhounds just couldn't get a turn on it after that, because Indy 11 had plenty of numbers back.
Yeah, DeSantis it was too wide for him. He couldn't get anything on it and get over the ball.
Dabo in the attack too. That's somewhat of a different look, is it not?
Yeah, for sure, because we like to see him sitting. But again, that's one of the things that we've seen here coming back from the delay is the mobility of Canardo Forbes, of Kevin Kerr, of Dabo. They've been all over.
Oh, well done.
All well done for Dos Santos.
Dos Santos trying to gather and fire, and it's blocked by Hackshaw, but he did well to get that ball down.
No, beautiful. Chested it down brilliantly, and Hacksaw did well defending too. So.
Oh yeah, that was two players really playing well in the positions they play. I mean, Santos, what a big body like that, and he could pull that ball down and make it work for him.
The Hounds attackers are looking confident at the moment.
They are. We're seeing Kevin Kerr and Canardo Forbes really seeing a lot on the ball. They are actually dropping in a little bit deeper, trying to connect them. And that's where we're seeing Dabo pushing up a little bit higher under Nico Brett. So, and I think that's because, maybe at the delay, Paul, maybe you think, Bob said to them, look, I want Kerr and Canardo on the ball.
All the time.
Because right now, they weren't in the first 9 minutes, they weren't seeing it.
No, now they're dominating actually.
It's the 5th match of September for the Hounds. The first 4 have featured a total of 2 goals for both teams. So is one enough? I don't know. It's looking a little bit more like some of the matches we saw in August, where they were more back and forth. Of course, Pittsburgh had the majority of those. It was a great month of August. They turned on the Jets, and now they're within touch of the top of the East and ahead here in this critical matchup. Iozet and Hackshaw. Indy unable to get it out of their own end at the moment. Osmond. There's a little bit of pasture.
Indy trying to get, I think, some possession back into it, but look, they've lost it again right now, and Hounds can go at them, but they've got 4 players back really quick and got 2-3 more come in as well.
Brett is wide. Nico Brett feeling it maybe. Left it for Forbes on the overlap, Rivera. And Kenny Forbes again. 8 assists on the year. Brett plays back to Forbes.
Really Indy 11 really forced to drop deep. They're back. And Tyler Pasher, who was up very, very high, has dropped all the way back almost to the center backs that last time, Paul. So you're almost like in a 4-5-1 defensively. Then I think that's because the Riverhounds are just moving around so well.
Dos Santos, I was afraid he might have pulled something there on the lunge.
They sent DeSantos to the cleaners there.
He got beat out of the corner.
He got caught on the turf and it's slick, and he lost his footing, so made it look a lot worse than it was.
Morton guides this one up the center. And it'll be Tyler Gibson. Gibson, usually the man with the ball at his foot if Indy's playing well. He's 2nd in the Eastern Conference in passes, and he's started and played in all 30, counting this one. Nervous touch from Osmond. Indy's center backs have been under siege a little bit here.
Yeah, but they're moving well now, getting the Riverhounds adjacent to, trying to take their time to control things and continue to switch the point of play. We've seen it going from touch to touch, but the Riverhounds are back also, very well organized, and Indy 11 is looking for a break to try to free up Pasher, maybe slip something into Dane Kelly.
Yeah, Hounds have got everybody back there and making it very difficult for them to penetrate, Gina.
Yeah.
Well, this is the best series of touches for Indy in quite some time, since before the rain delay. Ioze switching, and Rovira at least heads it out. Connor was stationed over there on the river side of the pitch. That's the Monongahela River, if you're unfamiliar. Watching from Indy, welcome on ESPN Plus tonight. Huge match for both of these squads. Indy has squandered a couple of those games in hand that it had earlier this summer, and now into fall, they're basically on level footing with everyone in the top 5.
Yeah, it's interesting. You mentioned earlier that long home streak, and now they're on the road, and it's tough winning on the road here in this league. And,
yeah.
I'm sure the last thing they wanted was 2 losses in a row, and they definitely don't want 3.
They played midweek, they played Wednesday. The Hounds played Tuesday, so it's not full rest for either side in that regard. Throw in Pittsburgh. And a reminder that Select is the official ball of the USL in many high-level leagues around the world. The leader in ball innovation for decades. Go to Select Sport America for special offers and deals. And dealing with the ball, Rovira. Over the Canadian wingback. Couldn't make anything happen, but Vankiazil will touch it down. A little too much on that long ball for Brett.
Yeah, and I don't think that's what the Riverhounds want to do, because they've been successful when, you know, Thomas backs that up maybe to Morton and restarts the attack rather than trying to play that long ball. And they want to maintain some possession and keep the ball for long stretches to play, because that makes it very difficult for Indy to get any kind of rhythm and tempo of their own. But we see Tyler Pasher there, Paul, like coming so
he's
deep,
coming.
and he's really been all over the place here this last 10 minutes.
Kelly was confronted by Vankiazil, and the ball squirted loose to Pittsburgh. Rovira again got through 2, but couldn't swim past a third. And it's back over to the white-shirted Indy 11. Pasher in a little bit of space. Nutmegs Kerr and fires. Kyle Morton, stout. Tyler Pasher against his old Hounds teammate there at the edge of the 18.
It's working
I'll tell you, with some of the moments that Tyler Pasher has had, like with this one here, I mean, we see why he is up front. You know, he's very dangerous. He has that. You know, he certainly, with his pace, has the ability to stretch any back line. But he's also shown some pretty creative 1v1 moves.
Yeah, and he's all over the field, like you said, Gino. He's on the left side, he's on the right. He's trying to make things happen for Indy and showing himself for the ball. So they've got to keep their eye on him, because he can be very deadly.
Yeah, and I'm sure they're very aware of him. Greenspan, Vankiazil, Adewale.
And we always liked him when he was here. I mean, his change of pace and going up the line created a lot of problems for teams.
Yeah, I think we were always of the opinion we didn't understand why he was
let go.
Let go, or why he was in there a little bit more, even when he was here. You know, but he was younger then, and he's, you know, didn't always make the best decisions sometimes. And, he's grown, I'm sure, and matured a lot with his game.
He's made some appearances in Major League Soccer with Sporting Kansas City. It's his previous club, in fact, prior to his arrival in Indy. He's playing in Finland when the Hounds picked him up. I remember that.
And Matt, he's Canadian, is that correct?
He is, yes, from the Toronto area.
Yeah.
Came up in the Toronto FC Academy, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
Yeah, he did.
Brett again ends up in a conversation with Malik Badawi, who gives him the international sign for no more of that. And so Brett has been duly warned, without an official warning, of course. No cards yet in this one. Brett's goal, a thunderbolt of a strike on a rainy night here in Pittsburgh. I guess that's appropriate. In the 16th minute, has Pittsburgh on top. The all-important first goal, especially in a matchup of two teams that have been extremely sound defensively all year. Kelly bodies up against Vankiazil, but Dane Kelly wins this ball. Pasher, Connor out wide. taking this one. Connor
good little ball.
through to Pasher. Indy's onside. Greenspan got a foot there. It's still loose in the 18. Toby Adewale slugs it well out of danger. Adewale back after serving the 1-game red card suspension. Ended up missing more than a game and a half. He was carded in the first half at Nashville last Saturday. And Hounds survived for a scoreless draw, but they missed big number 2 back there. 2 and 20. Twin Towers on the back line. Here's Newton now.
You see Kevin Kerr leading the line this time as Nico Brett has dropped back a little bit. And, and I think Kerr got tired of watching them knock it around a bit, and he said, let's go. You know, we got to get possession back, and we have to press them a little bit.
Dabo with a clean tackle, does what he does best. Wins possession in the middle of the pitch. Now Kerr scans his options. The Scotsman finds the Senegal native, Dabo. And look at Joe Greenspan take a step up.
Yeah.
Just for a moment.
Just taking the time again now, Kitten.
Yeah, and boy, I'll tell you, I really like their spacing. I mean, you know, what they're doing. They're really spread out. I mean, their back three are pushing out wide. That allows their outside backs to really push up higher, almost as wingers. And then that opens up the line. That draws the Indy back line back and opens up some space in the midfield. As Greenspan finds that channel to Nico Brett. I mean, as we said, we've seen Kerr, we've seen Canardo Forbes on the ball an awful lot. Because they're deep, and that's a need. Didn't need that giveaway, did they?
One of the few times the Hounds have given the ball away cheaply, but they get it right back. So the 11, again, playing reactive soccer at the moment. Greenspan puts some mustard on this one and does get it to Dabo.
Yeah, they're really pinging balls in hard and low into the middle.
Forbes wants to go. And he scores! My goodness, it's 2-0.
Oh, damn, it's another rocket.
Have a drink on me, Canardo Forbes. He's doubled the lead. I can't believe these shots tonight, and neither can that man, Evan Newton.
Laser number 2.
Holy smoke. I think he said, I'm not going to let Nico Brett get a goal like that. I got to get on the board too.
We got to match it.
I got to match that one. Yeah. It was close, but Nico's was still traveling a little bit more, I think. But this was a great strike again.
Another great strike. I mean, the Indy 11 guys are just looking around, looking at each other, saying, what the heck just hit us?
Whoa.
Yeah.
Twice, Pittsburgh connects from outside the box. The Hounds have barely had any goals from outside the box this year, and they get 2 in the biggest game of the year.
Yeah, what a great time to get it again.
And you know, we just mentioned like their line dropping deep. That's allowing some space in the pockets in front of their back line. Sure, you know, and Canardo Forbes took advantage of it and really just
about
unleashed it there.
20 yards, 23, 24 yards out. They're giving it a lot of space. Boy, that was well hit.
Because again, it would stretch up their outside backs. The back line would have to drop deep with that, but then that would allow those little pockets between the line. And he took advantage. He looked up, saw a break, and went after it.
Well, Pasher's going to try to get one back. Indy up against the wall suddenly past 40 minutes. It'll be Connor crossing in, and it'll be Thomas Vankiazil getting to the end of it for the Hounds. And they would love to get to the halftime break without any further drama. They've already had one break, and that break treated them very well. And I think we'll look back at that early miss from
that's
Dave
a good
Kelly
ball
forever.
if we can get to it.
Newton end up being in the path of Brett. So Evan Newton beaten twice. You can't fault him. He's in a full dive on these save attempts, and they're still bulging the back of the Indy goal.
Yeah, I don't know too many keepers in this league are going to get either one of those strikes for sure.
No, really. I mean, those were 2 bullets and perfectly placed as well. It's not just like they're just hitting them. They were in the corners, and this keeper had no chance with either.
And Indy 11 just looks, I mean, absolutely shattered right now. I mean, you know, they're just. Oh, that's a great ball.
That's a good ball.
Connor, can he drag it to the edge of the area, but no further? Greenspan and Adewale and Kerr
did well
even got in there. Ayoze takes the throw in, and he needs some magic. Kyle Morton snatches it sure-handedly.
And I'm sure they would love to at least try to pick one up here before the half to, you know, cut the lead in half. But it's The Riverhounds just have to be smart and play this out.
Don't make any silly mistakes and take any chances that they don't need to.
Bob Lilly said this week he was disappointed his team didn't go for the second goal at Memphis quickly, and then it was bunker time in the second half. Well, they've gotten the second goal tonight and not even close to bunkering right now.
It's going to make it very difficult on Indy 11 because
they got to come out.
We know one thing the Riverhounds can do is they know how to defend, and it's they're very difficult to break down at any stage of the game, but certainly up 2-0, it's going to be very difficult for Indy 11.
Kerr knows he erred there on the challenge, sending Drew Connor spinning.
He was a day late on that tackle.
A little bit, yeah.
It really was.
And the referee standing 5 yards away.
I think Kerr showed enough immediate remorse that it might have got him some brownie points. Into Morton again, misses on the punch. Kelly missed high.
Why didn't he catch that?
Well, all I know is that was the chance the mistake we're worried about that Indy 11 wanted before the end of the half.
Boy, yeah.
3 looks for Kelly. Morton is complaining to the referee. Maybe he was restrained in some way.
He was like bumped a little bit, and he tried to box and couldn't.
I think Bob Lilly's yelling at him. Why didn't he pick it up? Why didn't he catch it?
Yeah, that was Ilya Illich in his way a little bit, but it didn't look like a lot on the replay.
Yeah, but the goalkeeper's got the advantage, Matt. He's got his knees, he's got his arms
there's somebody
and elbows.
pressing that goalkeeper. He
Goalkeepers union is represented.
He was playing safety first.
The referees take care of him.
Punch that out of there.
Not disagreeing with you at all, Paul. I know I've been watching soccer over the years. Sometimes I've been frustrated by how much leeway keepers get, but for good reason, as you say. A lot of times they're exposed, but a lot of times they do get the chance to come in aggressively. But Morton, for whatever reason, decided to back off on that one. Foul against Pittsburgh. 1 minute of stoppage will be added on.
Come on, I think a point of emphasis for the referees this year is watching those mean goalkeepers if they're hitting those
and taking care of
those little pansy forwards too hard,
Absolutely. That was on the memo, I think.
Yeah. But I think the decision was for Cal Morton. Was he going to punch it? Was he going to try to catch? And I just think he probably thought he was playing it safe, but
really.
He was bumped a little bit and could not cleanly box that one away.
Dane Kelly's had the 3 best looks for Indy. That's the guy they want to have the best looks. He and Pasher, obviously, but Kelly's the veteran in that role.
No, you're right, Matt. I mean, that's spot on comment, because
here's a good chance. 2-on-1 here.
Here's 2 guys we want to have on the ball for sure.
Brett Forbes. Forbes blocked, and he's disgusted with something.
I don't think he liked the pass from Nico.
No, he wanted that ahead a little bit because he had to slow up for that. It wasn't on stride, was it?
And he didn't have it on his right foot either, which I think he would have favored.
Yeah,
and if he could have come across and struck it,
That could have been a kill shot. Could still be.
If he put on his right foot, then Osman was going to take care of it.
Well, we're at the end of the minute of stoppage time. Forbes to take the corner kick.
Another opportunity right at the end of the first half here.
Looking to keep the pedal down is Pittsburgh. Good ball to the back post. Across. Brett is stopped by Newton.
Big save for Newton.
Yeah,
huge
I thought
save
that
for
was
Newton.
going to be a couple. There's another opportunity.
It's not over yet for Indy. Hackshaw. That'll do it for the first half.
Boy, I thought they were going to get one there.
2 great chances at each end. Yeah.
Huge ovation from this crowd, appreciative of what the Hounds put out there after that rain delay. Gentlemen, it couldn't have gone any better after the rain delay.
That was like night and day, different team completely, the way we came out after that 9 minutes.
No, absolutely. They really were a different team, and Indy 11, I think, was a little bit surprised at the tempo that the Riverhounds had, and they were surprisingly not able to deal with the movement of the ball movement of the Riverhounds, and it really forced them deep in the back line. Yeah.
There it is, 2-0 for the Hounds. It's been tough this year to even get one against Indy, but Pittsburgh has doubled that up with still a half to go in the biggest match of the season. We've said it continues to be the case. Back after this for our halftime presentation on ESPN Plus as we'll take a look around the USL Championship. Stay tuned.
Welcome to Moe's! At Moe's, we've always been real Southwest. And we're proud of it. It's in our name after all. And we've always been real people, using real Southwest flavors, making real Southwest eats. And we've always built everything right on the line, fresh, just for you. Real, fresh Southwest. Welcome to Moe's. Try Moe's new Moho chicken, made with all-natural chicken breast and a refreshing citrus sauce.
All right, that's enough, you two. Don't paint your brother. No, you can't eat the clay. What can I say? Moms just know. I'm Christine Sorensen, and as a mom, I know parents know a lot. But for the few things we don't know, there's Kidsburg, your go-to resource for all the great things in our area for kids and families. Everything from kid-friendly events, creative learning, and help for parents. It's every Wednesday on KDKA TV, emailed to your inbox and online at kidsburg.org.
Okay, we hear you. Due to popular demand, #1 Cochran Nissan's 3-store supergroup just added store number 4.
Introducing #1 Cochran Nissan Cranberry and grand opening offers at all 4 stores. Lease the all-new Altima from just $209 a month or 0 APR for 3 years plus $2,000 customer cash and $1,000 extra for trades at #1 Cochran Nissan now.
Home team on top. If it's Indy and Pittsburgh, that's a pretty good bet. If that's going to be the case. 2 Jamaicans, Forbes and Brett, have Pittsburgh up at the half, and the Hounds trying to climb to the top of the Eastern Conference for the first time in the Highmark Stadium era. We'll take a look at the road ahead for both teams. With Indy, it's been literally the road for the most part in the last couple of weeks, and Indy has dropped some points here. They remain away from Lucas Oil Stadium for one more match at Ottawa, a playoff team. No easy assignment. Then Memphis at home, maybe a slight breather, but then they have Tampa. And so it's not going to be any kind of a cruise to the finish line for Martin Rennie's club.
Not at all. I think
Sorry, Paul, that's a tough road.
It is a tough road run, and it's so close always now at this time of the season. We're coming down to the end. It's great to see all the teams, though, the 4 or 5 teams were so close together, and it just shows how the quality of the game has grown.
It really does. It's a testament to the league, and as you said, the quality of the caliber of play here.
How about Pittsburgh's upcoming schedule? Also, 4 matches remaining, including, much like Indy, a midweek match Tuesday at Loudoun United, and we'll have a 7:30 start from the Capital District. Then Atlanta back here, Fan Appreciation Night, the final regular season home match. Of course, everyone around the Hounds is hoping that there will be another home playoff game for a second consecutive year. And there you go, on the road at a couple of teams fighting it out for the final playoff spots in the Eastern Conference. Very similar case to Indy, where you can't exactly shift it into cruise control at the end.
Yeah, those 2 last games are going to be 2 tough games. I mean, obviously the Hounds, I would think, would like to come away with 6 points from Atlanta and Loudoun, and go into St. Louis and Birmingham, thinking about it, not having to worry.
That's what's ahead. Still ahead in this one, 45 minutes. For right now, we're taking a breather. Enjoy this from the USL, the best of the USL Championship from the past several days.
Kiesewetter in for the goal!
Let's go with the left point, Jamal Johnson!
What a goal!
Perfectly placed!
Splice this New York defense with a curling effort. That's incredible. What a goal by Nurse. Johnson, though, going to hurry things up. Tenorio giving a blast. Goal!
Clever will take a shot. He fires it home for a classic.
Cicerone to the back post. Sliding it in. What a start for St. Louis. Tyler Blackwood.
Wharton and Asprilla in it as well. Williamson strikes and puts it in, a fourth for T2 on a beautiful strike.
Asante saved by Cochran.
And a save by Morton.
Through and a diving stop.
Punched away by Laurel. Follow. Can't save Laurel. And this. It's a hammer. Oh, that's an important intervention by Logan Ketterer.
Knocked on. Klaus fires. And back of the net. Paul Klaus. Find one here. Ball swept in. Headed on, up and in, and just like that, Toronto answers.
Ball played forward up the side. Moon trying to drop it back. Tries the left-footed shot and finds the back of the net. Nick Moon in stoppage time in the first half, breaking the deadlock.
Rayo now. For Rodriguez, going for that top corner. What a save by Silvestre. Through the midfield for Richmond. Calls for Wheeler Amanu, and a shot saved by Fitzgerald. Still around the box for Chattanooga. The shot by Caparelli's pushed aside by Herrera. Austin Amer.
Just got a good look at USL League One, Development League, but wow, some incredible plays, some saves, some strikes. We've seen a couple of beauties here tonight, but shows you how much talent is out there in this beautiful game. News and notes in the USL Championship. And first, a familiar face coming back to the league. Alan Koch, the former manager of FC Cincinnati before it made the jump to MLS. Well, he's back with Colorado Springs Switchbacks. Colorado Springs has been toward the bottom of the Western Conference all year, trying to turn it around and build for next year, I'm sure. If the top of the table is crowded in the East, the middle of the table is crowded in the West. 10 points between 4th and 14th in the West, basically 3 wins separating all of those. And yes, some spots up for grabs in the East, but really it's the final spot. And there you see Wednesday night soccer, El Paso and Fresno. The drama continues out west as we turn the calendar page over to October. Here's what you're waiting for. Some scores earlier this week. First of all, we've talked about Indy losing to Atlanta. Loudon has gotten some results lately. Charleston stunning New York at the end of the game last night. That helped the Hounds and all the rest of the team is fighting for number 1. But how about a stunner? We almost called it for Lou City. Tampa Bay comes back with 2 in the final 5 minutes. And so Tampa picks up a point. And there you see Nashville ahead. Looks like Nashville, I just said it about Louisville, looks like Nashville's going to take all 3. But live standings, if results hold, here you see Pittsburgh and Nashville tied for the top spot. And guys, the Hounds have a match in hand, too.
They do have a match in hand, and you know, it's been an unbelievable run the Riverhounds are on right now. And you know, they have a schedule they can finish this out and continue this streak, Paul.
They could, and they could end up in first place. And it's great to see because they've had their ups and downs, and they've kind of finally got it together here. The last couple of games, 4 points out of 6, so they got to be happy with that. And another 3 tonight would really boost their confidence.
Well, they're in beautiful position and trying to win 16 matches for just the 3rd time in 20 years of franchise history. Well, there you see, we gave you the reset. It's been fun so far. We're looking forward to more from the south side of Pittsburgh. Keep it right here on ESPN+.
Pleasant Valley Golf Club, nestled in the Laurel Highlands of southwestern Pennsylvania, is now open to the public. Enjoy 18 holes of championship golf with a new island green and fully stocked pro shop. Our clubhouse features a large ballroom for weddings or private parties, 2 restaurants serving delicious food, a sports bar, 2 state-of-the-art golf simulators, and an outdoor patio with gas fire pit and picturesque view. Pleasant Valley Golf Club, now open to the public. Pittsburgh Riverhounds SC season tickets for the 2020 season are now on sale with special early bird pricing. Until October 5th, fans can enjoy a 20% discount on all season tickets from club level to the supporter section and everything in between. For more information on season tickets, please visit riverhounds.com or call the box office at 412-865-GOAL.
Okay, go ahead and stand up for me. Good. Okay. Oh my gosh, this is just... Now, if you get home and that's a little more tender... Can I give you a hug? I can't believe it. I was in surgery this morning. Oh my gosh.
Call 412 Doctors to schedule an appointment at Allegheny Health Network.
Returning to Highmark Stadium, I'm Matt Geica with Paul Child and Gene Klein alongside up here in the press area. And if you like highlights, we've got a couple for you from the first half. Sometimes it's a struggle for our boys down at Vista. Gage Tillison on the switches this evening, but I don't think he and the rest had any trouble finding a couple of brilliant bombs. But first, before the rain delay earlier, Joe Greenspan nearly puts a goal on the platter for Indy, but Dane Kelly can't finish critically.
Yeah, he would have got an assist for that one.
And there you see the miscommunication leading to it with the rain falling. It was quite the scene earlier this evening before the 1 hour and 15-minute rain delay. But the Hounds dodged that one, and there's no mistaking it, a big break. And then Dane Rivera wins the foul call there, taking the ball away from Macaulay King. I'm glad we showed that because that set up the free kick. And instead of Forbes, it was Brett hammering this one.
Boy, I mean, that was traveling too.
The camera couldn't even keep up with that.
I know, I was looking for it, and it goes by so quick, and
no, just
keeper.
Upper corner side panel, boom. See ya.
The ball was coming back out of the net after the keeper dived.
Yeah.
Forget the camera. I could barely keep up with it with my own eyes. Back the other way, it's Dane Kelly involved again, feeding Pasher through Kerr, and
good save.
Good opportunity for Indy. They've had a few. It's not like they can complain about their lack of chances.
They did have a couple, and one of the things we said, they're dropping deep, and that led to some space in the midfield for Conrado Forbes, and he takes advantage of it right here. Another laser, boom.
One into the right side netting, one into the left side netting, and Evan Newton doesn't know what's going on. He did not expect to see this kind of offensive display. But Conrado Forbes has shown a great foot when given the opportunity. He doesn't take that many shots from distance, but when he does, he tends to hit him really well.
Yeah, you'd think he would do, wouldn't you? You'd think he'd take more shots, Gino, from out there, because he has come up with some great shots from that area.
He's a quality player, and I think he can do a lot of things. We normally see him distributing all over the field and tracking back and winning a lot of 1v1 duels, but he certainly is capable of putting the ball in the back of the net also.
I'm surprised that Indy has the possession edge. Maybe that's a lot of it from the first 10 minutes before the delay, but the Hounds have an important edge in shots, 8-4. That feels more representative of what we've watched so far. And you see Mohamed Dabo, number 21, on your screen there, or you did a moment ago. He picked up the assist on Conrado Forbes' goal. That will be Dabo's first pro assist in a couple of seasons. He had a outrageously great goal, a similar one to what we've seen tonight last year, but now he adds an assist to the ledger for the usually holding midfielder, Mohamed Dabo. Two teams are regrouping and regathering and ready to kick it off for the second half.
Yeah, be interesting to see how Indy go at this one now, Gino, where they push. Look like they got 4 up front.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Paul. What changes is he going to make, and you know, are they going to make any adjustments? Because I'm sure after the weather delay, you know, they came out and said, "Hey, let's keep doing what we're doing because we really have the Riverhounds back on their heels." But the Riverhounds came at it really displaying a different gear, and we'll see if Indy can do the same here to start the second half, because they're down 2. They really have to put everything into this next 45.
That ball's out of bounds, I think.
Well,
King saves it.
Saves it just in time. So we'll take a look for any adjustments and see what they do.
That ball was over Illich's head, driven by King. Lest we count our points before they're earned, we just saw a 2-0 deficit be overcome by Tampa at Louisville. So we're a long way from a conclusion, but
Well,
Hounds in a great position.
Yeah, that's right. A long way, and Indy's again a very good side. They have some weapons in Pasher and Dane Kelly. Dane Kelly had a couple great opportunities in the first half. We don't want to give him any more because he's going to. I'm sure the next one he wants to bury. So we'll see though if Indy was pretty much in a straight 4-4-2, almost with a diamond in the midfield. That first half, and we'll see if they're going to make any adjustments whatsoever to counteract how the Hounds were playing the second part of the first half.
Not a terribly physical first half, just 10 total fouls, now 11 as Dos Santos pulled off what he usually does very well, drawing a call.
Yeah, Greenspan's up there.
Loft the ball a bit shorter than what I thought we'd see from Forbes, and it's nodded clear by Neville Hackshaw from Trinidad and Tobago. 3 years in Charleston and now here in Indy, or playing with Indy here in Pittsburgh tonight. Throw-in Hounds on the far side. Dover's going to take this one. Dover, one of a couple of Hounds to play internationally this summer. He did it with Guyana, and Funky is doing it with French Guiana. Headed into the area by Dos Santos, and Brett couldn't gather it. He was surrounded. Right back in, though, and Dos Santos couldn't chest it.
Great step by Adewale, went right through Dane Kelly and almost got something off of Dos Santos.
Adewale, former George Washington University standout, hits Morton with that pass.
That's a nice ball.
It really is. He drove that one right up the center.
I think he caught Dos Santos by surprise. He wasn't really ready for it and then couldn't adjust.
Hit too well, sailed over his head. No wind to speak of. It's become a very still night after the rain passed through.
Oh, here's an
Brett
opportunity.
rips it away from Carl Wimet. Nico Brett straight up the pitch into the 18. Now he'll double back. He's got a couple of players in the area. Instead, picks out Rovira.
That's a great
Rovira's
ball.
cross in, and Dabo was in the mix. So was Steven Dos Santos. Usually the target in these situations. Dabo to Kerr. Off the side of his foot. Dover corrals.
Good shoulder touch there.
Dos Santos took a knock. Play continues on. Indian possession. Through ball here. Kelly's running on, and Kelly is around Morton, but can he catch up in time to finish? He won't be able to. And the Hounds help out their keeper, but here's a ball back and recovery run made by Forbes to pick it off. Delicate situation there with Morton well off his line. And
yeah, great ball from Tyler Pasher into Dane Kelly. I thought he could be able to do a little bit more with it, but just really couldn't catch up with that one, and the Riverhounds were back quickly.
Morton way off his line again,
Way
Gino.
off his line.
Way off.
Yeah.
That's 3 times now.
Yeah.
Once he's gotten there, once he got back passed by his own defender, and this time
he looked out a little bit too.
He really did. That could have been a really dangerous situation. He came, he's trying to stay connected, I think, with his back line to clean those through balls up. But it's, those are difficult ones, and you have to judge them quickly and accurately, or you're going to be in some no man's land, which he's been.
Yeah, he's been in no man's land a couple of times. We're going to get a chance to see it again, I think, here.
Morton handled off the Kerr back pressure.
Whoa.
Yeah, I mean,
Rovira took out his own man. Or pardon me, Morton took out Rovira.
See, when you see 2 players going for the ball like that, Gino, you don't really need to come off your line that quick. Let's see what's going to...
Rovira's right there, so he doesn't need to be there.
He wasn't going to get beaten by the player, so we scraped through another one.
Oh, boy, here comes Tyler Pasher, and he couldn't get to that before Morton. Morton's had a dramatic night.
Yeah.
A couple of really fine saves mixed in with some journeys away from his line, we'll call it.
Well, in fairness, I know I like to try to protect the keepers, but it's, those are the toughest balls to read. Those ones just right in there, and he has to be able. And even that one, I mean, if Tyler Pasher gets a little bit of a touch on that.
Oh yeah, it's in.
It's
in the back of the net.
And that was his own man heading it back to him, so it's not like you can put that on Pasher, or pardon me, on Morton necessarily. Well, nearly a turnover in a very bad area for Indy.
Oh, that
with
was a
Dabo stepping up. Rovira spun down. Bob Lilly wants the call.
Yeah, he just got hammered
Will not
in
get
the
it.
back. Referees not calling as much right now, letting it go.
This game has been rather entertaining for two teams that have a reputation for defense. Illich blasted it off of Kerr's body. And now with Indy down by a deuce, of course, we're going to see more desperation from the visitors. That throw sailed over the head of Pasher. Even with his ups, he couldn't flag it down. Thanks for watching tonight on ESPN Plus. We're happy to say that the USL Championship has signed an extension with ESPN Plus. They'll carry it well into the next decade. We've had a ball bringing you the games nationwide on the platform. It's brought some additional exposure to the USL Championship, a great league, and getting better. Lilly talking with the fourth official, who, of course, has to bear the brunt of that.
You missed it, Matt. He was talking with the referee, too, because he came over to him and gave a word to Bob Lilly because Lilly was getting on his case because his calls got changed all of a sudden. It wasn't calling anything.
Paul Caracciolo is the fourth official. I'll give him a plug since we had him on our airwaves, and he had to absorb the slings and arrows there.
I don't think he wants to stand too close to Bob. He wants to get further away from him. He should get in his little box there.
Bob's right at the edge of his coaching box as well. Spray painted on the turf here at Highmark. Adewale on the track back, beats Kelly to it. Morton, one touch, and
well hit.
Gets rid of it. Dos Santos flicking forward, but Dabo wasn't in the neighborhood. Brett in the 16th, Forbes in the 39th. Those are your two goals tonight. Pasher to the corner, and it got through Vankiazil, but not Adewale.
Nice pass by Adewale there, right back to Greenspan, who was running back on the field accidentally.
It worked out that time.
He did.
Last year, Indy was in here in September, and Pittsburgh got a couple of two-goal leads. That finished 3-2 for the Hounds. The Hounds have only lost once to Indy, and that was this year. They actually squandered a 1-0 lead, did Pittsburgh. Robbie Mertz had his first pro goal in that game. Speaking of the Pittsburgh native, he has started this match on the bench. I have to imagine he might be one of the options for Lilly tonight. We told you Ryan James is not available.
Yeah, wouldn't be surprised if Mertz gets in, though, for sure. Because of the energy he can put forth, and especially when he gets later into the game.
Noah Frankie, Anthony Velarde, Todd Pratzner. We didn't talk about him. He was picked up and deal with Memphis 901. Pratzner was a Hound last year. This is his third time playing under Lilly. He's a center back. He played the last two matches. I have a feeling Bob probably wants to give him a breather here tonight because the Hounds have to play again on Tuesday. So keep that in mind as well.
You know, I'm really been trying to take a look here at what you know, what adjustments Indy has, and I really think they've almost they've gone to really a 3-5-2. Guys, they've you know, they've kept Wilmette in with Osman and Hackshaw. They pushed Garcia way up high. They brought Macaulay King out wide on the right side. Garcia's on the left side. And then they have the three, and then here's Pasher.
Pasher!
Kelly.
Oh, he put it right through the 6-yard box. Morton couldn't head it off. Dane Kelly has been sniffing around the goal all night.
Yeah, and he just can't. He's just been so close all night. But keeping Pasher and Kelly up high with, as we see that one just barely, but with
that's a funny matchup there, right?
Drew Connor, Gibson, and Illich up underneath. So they have, you know, Gibson and Connor in the middle. Illich is underneath Kelly and Pashers, we see there, but they have Macaulay King and Garcia wide. So they're really trying to push it a little bit. They know they got to go for it, and they got to get a couple goals.
Seems like Greenspan is kind of following Pasher, you know, and that's a strange matchup there. You know, you got a big, tall guy, and you know,
yeah,
Pasher.
It's not
the right kind of matchup, but you can see right now, and he's still picking him up. I think they need to do something about that because now he's getting free.
And Yeah, because you can.
And he's going to go at people, you know.
Yeah, you see Connor moving into that space for Indy. Yeah, that's not favorable to the Riverhounds because, of course, it's pace versus power there. You know? And Joe's going to win the headers, but Tyler's going to win the foot races.
Yeah, definitely down the wings for sure. And that's what he did there and got a great cross across the box that somebody should have got on the end of, but didn't. And now the Hounds have got a corner kick, so.
Dos Santos won it. Speaking of power up front, he's got it. Looked across, got a friendly bounce. I heard Bob Lilly scream from up here just a moment ago, so he's trying to arrange the chess pieces. But here's a chance to make it a third goal, and they make all of this talk moot. Just the second corner of the match. Bending out, Newton got a punch, not going to count. Looks like a foul inside the area.
Yeah. So we'll see, you know, if, you know, what Indy 11's going to do, but they're certainly trying to push it. There you see Garcia up very high, and they're going to call the foul on him. Or no, throw in, sorry.
It sailed over his head from Newton. Newton very confident playing the ball out of the back with his feet. Looks like he loves to distribute. It's actually fun to watch in that regard. Into Dos Santos, and he could not touch it cleanly. Jordan Dover stepped two, and he was denied the ball on a strong tackle by Hackshaw, and Hackshaw has it again. Funky as the Hounds just pinning Indy to that touchline, and they get it back. Forbes, a burst. No sale.
And I really think like in that first half, it was a battle of the midfields. Indy 11's midfield was really controlling things before the weather delay. Then after that, we saw Kerr, Dabo, and
really
just really controlling the middle. Now I'm wondering if you know, in both sides, is it going to be 3v2 at each end? You know, the two strikers, Pasher and Kelly versus the Riverhound back three, and Dos Santos and Nico Brett for the Riverhounds against the Indy back three. You know, are both sides going to play through that and then try to find those guys to see if they can beat them?
Osmond, as we approach an hour, Hackshaw, if you're wondering why are we only in the 59th minute, there was an hour-plus rain delay in the first half. One of a handful we've had this year at Highmark. Pop free by Dabo. Forbes takes it from Dover. Dos Santos withdrawing a bit now. And Forbes looking to slice one through, but it's intercepted.
Yeah, somebody wasn't on the same page again there.
This ball away from King. Once again, though, he is able to get around it. Indy trying to avoid a third consecutive loss. This team was in position to finish first as of 3 weeks ago.
Oh, well read there.
Picked off and then fouled was Jordan Dover. And our first card of the match is given to a member of the Indy 11. Can't quite catch the number way over there on the far side. Is that?
I think it was Garcia, but.
Jose Garcia, yes. He appears to be still reacting to that.
Ain't gonna see it again.
Yeah, it was 7.
Dangerous tackle from behind by Jose, the Venezuelan.
That was way late. That's a good ball there. Dos Santos. Oh,
He'll rise up,
headed.
headed across the face of goal. Oh, Dabo was a step away from getting two. Newton rolls it out. Illich hasn't had many touches tonight, but he doesn't need many.
It's a long ball.
There goes Pasher.
Pasher's onside. And it gets stuck in his feet, and he can't pull it out, and the Steel Army loves it. It's a goal kick for the Hounds.
They're letting him know for sure.
Yeah, they really were. But a tough one to handle. That thing was bouncing.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
He was trying to bring it down and look up at the same time.
But he's always a threat out there,
He
too.
is. I mean, he got some jets, doesn't he, Paul? And I mean,
again, if he gets a foot on that and gets it across the box again, it gives him another opportunity. And his players in the middle have got to be looking for that from him all the time.
Yeah, and I do think Indy's doing the right thing by putting him out there on that side with Greenspan, because we know as terrific a defender as he is, that's not going to be his strength to deal with the pace of Tyler Pasher.
Greenspan, last year's first team All-USL defender, tosses it ahead. Dos Santos running through, causing some havoc, and Newton chested it down.
I think he was thinking it was past, you know, one of his players touched it and was wondering about picking it up, but
it wasn't an obvious back pass. I think he was safe the whole way. I'm curious as to what he thought he saw, but he'll emerge. Osmond into a tight squeeze, and Pittsburgh's back on it. Rovira, quick counter. Headed away
here's
from
a great
them.
up at the...
Brett's going to get there, circling it. Brett from close range, off the post.
Up the post.
Nearly 3-0, and it caroms all the way out on the far touchline.
Oh, blow that. That was a...
Nico Brett got last game off, and he looks like he had last game off.
Communication between the defender and the keeper, and he ripped that one. I mean, Newton didn't know anything about that one.
No.
You know.
It was a nice shot, actually. Unlucky he didn't just get it 6 inches the other way.
I mean, he thought he had the near post protected, and he still almost beat him to that. I mean, he brought his shooting boots tonight, Paul. I mean, it's like he has ripped a couple.
What's more? Why is Morton coming out for that there? He's kind of, it's got me worried a little bit, Gino. I don't know what's going on. It's like he's got ants in his pants or something. He wants to get everything that comes close to the top of the box.
Listen, it's the old keeper sweeper role, you know, and you know,
extra man.
He wants a couple touches. Come on.
He's gotten them. Rovira, did he get that call? No, he didn't.
He hit him.
He claimed that it was off King. Not so, according to the assistant referee.
And both of them, they missed it.
But I still think, you know, when we've seen two threats from Pasher, Kelly, and here Nico Brett, it's you know, we see the two guys up high on the three center backs, and you know, can it come down to one of those? You know, because they're looking for them right there to break the lines. Although we saw Dabo moving up there, but again, it's putting a lot of pressure on that back three.
Yeah.
Because both teams are.
Rovira nearly swiped it, didn't he?
Yeah, he really almost got that one.
Been impressed by Danny Rovira tonight. How about him?
He's had a very good match, man.
22 years old. And the Hounds have had some rookie step up, of course, with Mertz.
Macaulay King is he's hurting a little bit, I think.
Well, he's been reaching for maybe a groin or.
Yeah, it looks like he has it wrapped up, Matt. So maybe we're going to see a substitution.
I saw that about 10 minutes ago. Filed it away. It looks like it's popping up again for King. And there he is again.
Yeah.
He's in some trouble. There is a sub coming up, but we're told it's not for King on the Indy side, as Martin Rennie, the manager, goes to his bench.
He might have to change that one because King.
He's now seated on the pitch as King. Folks, you can go to ESPN.com to follow the Hounds and any of your favorite squads in the USL Championship. Just visit ESPN.com, plug Hounds into the search bar. You'll get broadcasts, highlights, stats, news, notes. It's all there. And there's your sub, Ilya Illich, out for Eugene Starikov. Okay, and then we will get the second sub, Matt Watson, 30-something Englishman. We'll check in for King. So 2 subs consecutively in the 65th.
Bob Lilly having a big discussion there with the referee and shook his hand afterwards, which is
all right.
Nice.
An amicable parting. Indy wants to try to get Watson in right now because King is clearly compromised. Yevgeny Eugene Starikov in, and there's Matt Watson as well.
Martin, I don't know what the delay was there. I mean, what?
Well, King had already gone off.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You know what?
Maybe the check-in process wasn't complete.
Yeah, I don't know. Martin Kelly was kind of looking at Martin Rennie was looking at him, saying, "What? Get out there. Let's go, man."
25 minutes to the finish line. No goals in the second half. I think the Hounds, if you told them they were going to get 2, they'd be very happy with that against this Indy squad. despite Indy giving up now 2 in 3 straight matches. Starikov on the ground, but Morton was right there, wasn't placed well enough, and Kyle read it anyway. A couple of Indy forwards streaking in, though. You saw Kelly, you saw Pasher. If Morton spills that, that's danger.
Yeah, they've put a couple of fresh legs in there now, and they're going to obviously go at goals off much as they can and try and get some shots off.
Foul on Dos Santos. So there's 5 matches in 15 days stretch. The Hounds have a draw at Nashville, down a man, a 1-0 win at Memphis, trying to get a second consecutive win here and get 10 wins at home. Loudoun on Tuesday, the next Saturday right back here against Atlanta United 2. Could very well define their final finish. Not breaking any news saying that. Osmond, rather.
That's a good.
This one bounces into the box, and it's Pasher nodding it high and wide. Greenspan could not get to that ball.
Yeah, this
had a little bit of help from Dover. The two got their lines crossed, I think.
want to see what the keeper Morton's doing here. I thought, you know, it's going to bounce.
Again, a big bounce. Yeah, I mean, he was a little bit there. I mean, I was wondering why. Looks like Tyler Pasher really tries to put some power on that one. He just maybe should try to just knock it over.
Just hit it down if he could have. Yeah, I think
Morton, you know, just maybe knock it over Morton's head a little bit. But you know, tough when ball's bouncing. You have a couple defenders there, and it's. But they have had a couple chances, but you know, not clean ones for sure. But
Bunky Azil missed that initial ball. Greenspan was looking at him in confusion why he wasn't able to at least get a touch. Edge of the 18, Rovira takes care of that. Taking no chances with that clearance. Just saw on your screen, Indy's back at it this week too. Wednesday night match at Ottawa. That finishes the 4-match trip. This Indy squad now limping into the home stretch and still trying to pull a point out of this one. Be a heck of a comeback if they could do it.
Well, they had that one great opportunity right before the end of the half with Kelly, and
that could have changed everything.
That would have changed
for
everything.
Sure.
You know, as you know, we go back to the Greenspan header. If Kelly's able to knock that one in, and they get a 1-0 lead, you know, how would this be different? But the Riverhounds have taken advantage of their opportunities, and that is the difference.
Santos getting to that one really well.
80-yard ball from Forbes settles on Dos Santos' left foot. The Cape Verdean couldn't make a move past Hackshaw, but it's a throw-in for the Hounds. Dos Santos is saying, "Where's my help? Everyone left me at the sideline." Dabo was running toward the penalty spot. Actually, now the cavalry arrives.
Actually, Gino, the Indy as well. I mean, we're on.
Brett falls in the area, no call.
With Nico Brett's the header that went straight, kind of the same way, you know what I mean? Over the keeper, and he went down into the corner and hit the post, and 2 opportunities there were missed by both sides.
Yeah, I mean, this has been a game where there have been opportunities on both sides, but the Hounds are up by virtue of 2 absolutely sublime strikes.
Yeah.
From Forbes and Brett.
Dabo ran through. He dummied it for Dos Santos. The Hounds would love to have a stretch of possession now. Kerr, though, wanted to gun it into a tight spot. Hackshaw stepped up. Now Adewale's under pressure from Kelly. Adewale bumped in the assistant referee, Milkar.
No, call. The referee's called.
Was making, he had the flag up. And yes, the center ref agrees. Malik Badawi. The referees have the headsets. They can talk to each other now these days. Modern technology.
But the game sort of tapered off a bit, I think. You know, we had some terrific stretches of possession from both sides, but now it's been a little bit more of a physical battle, 1v1 battle, a little bit more direct, Paul, and a little bit, you know, not as much rhythm as we've seen before.
Greenspan somehow got to the sideline and kept the ball in possession of Pittsburgh. Morton, after that sleight of foot, running on. Look at Jordan Dover. Nearly slalom through everybody. Got past 2. The third man, though, proved a bit more challenging. Osmond held his ground. And Indy gets it back, but Starikoff reached out and the pass was too far ahead of him.
Yeah, Kevin Kerr mopped that one up really quick.
Brett, the chip ball. Forbes is in. He's already got one tonight. The captain of the Hounds.
I
playing
like it.
Driving.
Yes, what a great move.
Kenny Forbes has a brace, and it's 3-0, and he stands
boy.
up next to a mountain. The captain has come through in the biggest match of the year.
You got to see this move. He
What a
drags the
move.
ball
Oh,
like as if he's going to hit it and drags it to his left foot and then drills it off the far post and in. I mean, tremendous move on the defender.
What patience and composure in that area for
Excellent.
Bernardo Forbes, as we see.
Great
And a great
chip.
little ball from Nico Brett, chipping over the back
Here's
line.
a drag.
Yeah, just a little bit patient. Boom, see ya. Ref gets it to the far post. How he got that back to the far post, his left peg is unbelievable. But there's little patience here. And,
Oh, dear.
yeah, and Wilmette didn't know what happened. And,
Beautifully taken shot.
and what a performance by the Riverhounds tonight. I mean, just absolute 3 terrific goals. The fans have to be happy. The coaching staff has to be happy. And if that doesn't catapult the Riverhounds into first place, I don't know what does.
No.
Nashville has won, so if the Hounds win, they'll be tied with Nashville for the top spot. Technically, Nashville will have the tiebreaker, but as of right now, just looking at points, and the Hounds will have a game in hand.
I was going to say, I was just about to say the Hounds will have one in hand. So
Right, Nashville has played 31. This will be the 30th match for Pittsburgh. Folks, it's been a long time since the Hounds have been in a position like this.
No, this is
It's been since 2004, really. That's the last time they finished first in any division or conference.
Yeah.
But what a great time of the season right now, Gino, to start doing things like this and scoring goals and being really confident, because we've got, two guys now. Confidence is bubbling over, and the rest of the players,
Well, and we have seen this progression here over the last month, haven't we? It's another yellow card for Watson. It's
dangerous challenge on Brett. Excuse me.
Started to say we've seen this progression, and they've been playing so well over this last
consistent.
month. Very consistently. And what has got better, defensively it's always been there, but their movement, their spacing, their confidence to go forward, I mean, has been terrific.
That's what I'm saying. It just looks like they're so confident when they're going forward. You never know who's going to strike the ball in the top of the net.
Well, speaking of confidence, this kind of a match can propel you. So
sure.
That'll be
you look going into the playoffs, and
that's what I mean. It's a perfect time.
No one is.
No one's playing better right now in the East.
No one's playing for sure in the East, and we haven't taken too much of a look at the West. But it's from the East, no one is playing at the level that the Riverhounds are right now.
Had a little wobble against Loudon at the end of August, but since then, 4-0 at Ottawa. A tough 0-0 draw against Louisville City, which the Hounds had the better of the chances but couldn't bury. 1-0 against Charleston here. They grinded that one out, weren't at their best. And then this past road trip, galvanizing. Kevin Kerr told me this week that the boys were buzzing on the bus after that one. And on cue, there is Kevin Kerr. They'll be buzzing after this one even more.
I think they will. They deserve a good buzz.
I would say so.
After this one.
Well, plenty of the fans are feeling the buzz at the moment as we tick close to 10 o'clock. This rain-delayed match, if you stuck around, you have been rewarded at Highmark Stadium, or if you're watching tonight, obviously, you've been rewarded listening to us call it. We've had a blast, and it's been our pleasure to be with you once again here for another Soccer Saturday in Pittsburgh. At a
Here they go again.
Broke it up. Hounds can counter and maybe get a fourth.
3.
Kerr and Forbes crossing in, and give credit there. Indy's back line didn't fold. Osmond intercepting. Pasher got right by Von Gizio, left him in the dust.
Here we go.
How about that? Kelly trying to break the shutout bid. Kelly's got a cutback, and it's blocked off the head of Adewale, saving the Hounds' shutout streak. And that one stung, but Morton gives him a pound after the fact, deservedly so. Corner kick, Indy.
Good work by defense there, Gino.
Yeah, I thought Kelly had Pasher flying there. He could have laid that out for him, Paul,
Yeah.
But you got, I mean.
We're going to see it again here, Gino, I think.
But a good little cut back, and he does well. And it's Adewale. He took that on the head, the shoulder, and that thing was heading.
Yeah.
For the back of the net for sure.
Iose's cross headed toward goal, but not a lot on it from Hackshaw. Indy about to make its third substitution. Toe poke from Joe Greenspan relieves the pressure. By the way, the Hounds haven't made a substitution yet, so.
No.
Here's Ryan.
Ryan James is about to change
We
all
thought
that, but
it's
pretty
not on the.
surprising.
I thought he was out there warming up. You
That's
guys told me
he's not on the sheet
He's
that we
not
were
on
handed.
the sheet, yeah.
He's
that's
not
what-
on the 18.
I'm just looking at it.
I don't know what's going on
Maybe
there.
they just snuck him in.
I don't know. I don't think he can do
I just think he just put a wrong number down here or a wrong name.
Well, he's definitely not on our.
We've done that before, Gino, as a coach.
You've never done that. Come on.
I have.
You did that in indoors all the time.
Oh.
Iose toward the 6. Greenspan took the worst of that. Still not clear for the Hounds, and it's off the post. Off the post from Ouimet, the center back.
Everybody stood and watched that one just go, and it was like, it's in, and no.
Substitution coming up. Gabriel Rodriguez makes his 5th appearance in relief of Drew Connor.
That would have made it a little bit more entertaining towards the end there if that one had gone in, Gino.
Straight swap here, James for Rivera.
Yeah. Rivera's had a great game, I think.
He's done really, really well.
Well, it's Ryan James. He must be eligible because he's in the match.
I just think it's a typo.
Yeah, perhaps they meant to put Uchenna Uzo. He hasn't been in the 18 recently, so that surprised me when I saw number 3 for the Hounds on that list. Yeah. And maybe that's the mistake.
Well, but once your name's on the roster and that list is submitted, unless there was an injury or something in warm-up,
okay.
I mean, he could have replaced him up to a certain point. So I don't know.
Yeah, before the game, yeah.
Well, all right, 12 minutes left. What's been a rollicking night at Highmark Stadium, one of the most memorable nights we've had here.
Looks like Robbie Mertz is about to come in also. I would expect we'll get Robbie in for maybe a Kevin Kerr.
Yeah, definitely.
Give a little bit of energy. And I think Kerr's, no points on the board for him, but a really outstanding match. Especially when the Hounds were struggling a little bit. For him to find the ball the way he finds the ball, finds the pockets of space, controls that tempo a little bit, knows when to pick it up, knows when to slow it down.
Yeah.
And so, again, his soccer IQ is so high that it really.
And Nico Brett's
really
been working very hard too, Gino.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's chasing back, and so I'm seeing a lot more.
They all are, Paul. They're everywhere. And
yeah, exactly.
Worked, really, really hard. And
definitely got it packed in at the moment in the.
Iose and Morton snatches it right off the head of Starikov, making a run. That'll kill some more time for the Hounds toward the 80th. Next home match next Saturday. Hope to see you here for Fan Appreciation Night. Atlanta United 2 was the final home regular season opponent of 2019. The 20th anniversary season for the Hounds. It'll extend into the playoffs.
Yeah, I was right. It's going in. He's going in for Kerr. So.
Mertz for Kerr. Mertz checking in for the man he watched play here as a youngster, growing up in Upper St. Clair. And now Robbie Mertz is a teammate of Kerr.
Makes sense, this change, for sure, because hopefully Robbie he'll be buzzing because he didn't get to start. So.
Well, they want some fresh legs in regardless. Sure. I mean, he's going to be buzzing anyway, but it's I mean, Kerr's a great match.
And he needs Kerr again on Tuesday
big round of applause. Yeah.
Mertz sprints to the area of play.
And for Kevin Kerr, it has to be a great feeling walking off saying, hey, we know we're at the top of the table.
Yeah, for sure.
All the time he has put in with the club, the good times and the bad times, and this is certainly one of the best times that the club has seen.
This is the first time in Kerr's 7-year Hounds career that they'll make the playoffs back-to-back
well
seasons.
read there by Ryan James.
Yeah. Doing what he does best. He leads the Hounds in interceptions. There's another one. Brett connects nearly with Forbes. It will happen. Mertz and over wide. Is there a
another
fourth
one
in there?
here?
No, Santos, he just whiffed on it.
Oh.
And Bob Lilly can't believe it. He takes his hat off.
Oh, dearie me. I can't believe that one.
I can tell from your
I thought
reaction.
DeSantis
Just soared
was
right by.
Going to run right into it.
It looked easy. That was the easiest one of the night. James, well, he coughed that one up in the middle. Not what he wants to do there. Rodriguez. Starikoff, Rodriguez reaching for his leg. The referee says play on. The Riverhounds Soccer Club is 8 minutes away, give or take, from its 16th victory of the season. Apparently that was out of play. James couldn't save it. Pittsburgh has achieved 16 wins just 3 times in its history. Yes, the season is longer now. 34 matches, longest ever, tied with last year, but they've rarely gotten to this spot.
No, they've got a great record at home as well, Matt. It's been fantastic for them. I mean, look at you know, some of the teams we've played, and they've all had a real hard time when they come to the Hounds Stadium.
Yeah, and I think as we see Nico Brett looking for another one here.
He's going to cut inside. Some choppy steps. A fake of the shot.
I think since the beginning with Highmark Stadium, since inception, I mean, everyone here has always said we have to do well at home, and we should make this a fortress. But Coach Bob Lilly's been the one to finally make that a reality, and the Riverhounds over the past year or so have certainly locked it down here at Highmark Stadium, and that's made it virtually impossible for anybody to come in here and get 3 points.
And that's what you want, Gino, isn't it, as a club? You want the teams coming in thinking, boy, we've got to go to Pittsburgh again and play on their, field, and how tight and tough it is to play. So it really sends a message when you do that kind of, get that kind of
it sends a message throughout
results.
the league, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does.
Like everybody, we're not the only one watching these results, and they're looking at saying, Pittsburgh, and again, come in first and have a home field advantage.
Yep.
That's a tough one.
That's a big plus.
Yep.
Still not guaranteed, of course, because the top 5 is so tight. That 5th team is not going to deserve to start on the road, but they're going to have to. Wimet, what a cross there. Oh, nearly an own goal. Greenspan put it over.
Yeah, no, Joe Greenspan did well.
He did
exactly what he was doing, and he did really well. His back pedal was a difficult one. He didn't want to head it back down.
He had no choice there.
No choice.
That was a perfect.
He was able to loft that one over. So great stuff for Joe Greenspan.
He is surprisingly nimble for a man of his size. 6'6". Great athlete. Former Navy man. Still in the Navy Reserve. And Greenspan won that header, no surprise. Watson takes a crack, and that was blocked at the point of attack.
There's a great opportunity. That's Brett one-on-one.
Can it be Brett getting a second as well? Mertz and Dos Santos are in tow. Nico, he had Dos Santos back to his left.
Tried to find him.
I think he was trying to get him, yeah.
One of those breaks. 70 yards worth of counterattack. Rodriguez wins this ball on the duel with Vonkie Azil. Substitute for Indy, just trying to save some pride at the moment for the visiting side. This one is all but wrapped up. Watson scoots it ahead, switches play. Pasher, as usual, dangerous all game. It's not broken through.
I think it's still super important that they keep a clean sheet for Morton too. That's important as well, and the players should be working hard for that. As we've said before, Gino, it's a team game, and keepers come through with some great saves as well, and some iffy ones, but that's what you need to do.
They've been Pittsburgh's been solid all the way around, haven't they? I mean, defensively with their backs, with Morton making decisions when he has to. Here's a foul here against Greenspan.
Joe is incredulous about that, but the call came a bit late. The referee was waiting for perhaps advantage to be played.
Yeah, that was With a late call, and I thought it was a 50-50 challenge. It was pretty physical, but this is where we've got to be strong again, Gino, the Hounds.
Well, they've been really, really strong with these free kicks all night and throughout the season, actually.
Yeah.
So it's because of that big guy right there who gets a flick on it, and, you know.
Have to like the Hounds' chances when he's in the area, but Hackshaw bumps Brett off the ball. Rack up another clearance.
Nice
for Greenspan.
Rack up 2 right in the same sequence.
Mertz is wide here.
Forbes, yeah, he finds Robbie
just
Mertz.
need to slow it back down again and keep possession for a little while.
Nowhere to go. Just keep it, knock it, kill off the game, manage the game.
Dabo to Dover. The Steel Army can bang its drums and sing its songs without fear now. Canardo Forbes gets his first 2 spot of the season. What a time for it. Greenspan clears. We're on repeat now. Reruns.
Joe Greenspan, take no prisoners clearance. You know,
Oh,
just stepped up and knocked it out of there and said, "You're not coming in here."
Oh,
same
wow,
way.
James took some
The
punishment.
referee never even saw that.
I don't know what the.
Yeah, the assistant was right there. No flag went up.
He was right there, and if he's calling it, it has to be him to give the center referee some advice on that one.
No Hound has a hat trick this season. Not in the last 2 seasons, maybe even further back than that. Forbes sitting on 2. Dabo's going to make a move.
He's got hit again.
Brett, James takes another one. Advantage called Brett. Right on target with it. He's trying for 2. Nico Brett got this party started in the 16th minute. You called it Gina Sublime. Strike off the free kick, and we haven't seen a ball hit better than that one all year.
Looks like the Hounds are going to bring their 3rd substitute in to finish off the game.
The back, Uchenna Uzo, hasn't seen the pitch in a long time. He's fought through some injuries. Pasher put a hand down to stay upright. Speaking of good athletes, he's an awesome one. Really enjoyable to watch do his thing. I know we loved it here in Pittsburgh when we had the chance to see him. They're loving it in Indy. Not tonight, though. It's going to be a tough result for the 11. Adewale clears that. Dos Santos was ranging upfield.
Nico Brett.
Yeah,
he's put in.
So forward for a back.
Shift in, yep.
That tells you where we are in this one.
And Nico Brett leaves with one of the great strikes of the season. If this isn't up for goal of the week, I'm not sure what'll happen, but
goal of the month, goal of the year.
Goal of the month, goal of the year, goal of the season, yeah, for sure. So terrific night for Nico Brett. What a shift he has put in. Tireless worker all night, and again, one of the most exciting strikes we're going to see.
26 goals as a Riverhound for Brett. He is 6th on the team's all-time list, not even 2 full seasons into his tenure here. Last year it was more of a solo journey for him. He led the Hounds by a wide margin. This year he has 11, Dos Santos has 9, and a couple of Hounds behind. Mertz has 6, Kevin Kerr has 5. It's a lot more by committee this year, by design. It's worked out. Looks like Uchenna Uzo is actually playing forward. I don't know what's going on right now.
It seems like he is, yeah. They're just trying to keep the ball down in that corner right now and run time off the clock, it seems. Oh, that's a great little ball.
How about that from James in extremely tight spaces, but it sails out, and we've reached the end of 90 minutes. 3 will be added on. Newton will lay it down for Indy. Evan Newton will suffer his first loss to the Hounds. Last year with FC Cincinnati. Since he didn't lose to many teams. The Hounds finished 3rd last year, but they were never in this position where they could realistically hope for a regular season East title. They're about to tie themselves with Nashville at the top with these 3 critical points. They've delivered. Iose is going to try to deliver one more, perhaps.
And they're going to try and get
Hackshaw
one into
instead.
the box here.
Difficult stretch for Indy. Martin Rennie's club will have to stay on the road, go to Ottawa. Not a short trip either.
Yeah, that's a
brutal schedule for them. And,
yeah, that's
a
tough place to go from here.
Unfortunate, yeah, for sure.
But all is not lost.
They're going to have to find a way. Indy 11's going to have to find a way to turn this around and get a couple wins here. They certainly can, can do it these remaining games in the schedule because they're still right in it. And what they don't want to happen is drop out of that top 4 spot. So they're not used to losing 3 in a row, but they're going to need to pick it up against Ottawa.
And they, like the Hounds, are trying to finish an unbeaten season at home. We haven't seen that in 4 years in this league.
Goes to Santos. Oh.
Making a run, but Uzo in a difficult position, different position than what he's used to.
He was offside. He just left it too long to send the ball to him.
He couldn't really,
just a step
really
too late.
Yep.
Yeah, he needed to get that off quicker to him. He was flying DeSantos, and once he gets going, he can move, but got a yard offside.
It's been so tight lately. Pittsburgh hasn't had a chance to shift it into cruise control here for a while. They beat Ottawa Fury 4-0, but that was on the road. Here at home, it's been since the start of August, and they had a true blowout at the end like this. Ouimet, a back post ball, and again it's Greenspan. Driving it toward the Army.
Yeah.
Maybe one final chance off this corner kick.
Morton there, I thought he was going to backpedal and take that out of the air, but he wasn't too sure and left it to Greenspan to take care of.
Yeah, Greenspan took care of it. And
hopefully
I would bet that he'll take care of this corner.
What did I say? How about that? Put some money on it, Gene Klein.
Really?
I thought he was going to do that. That's great.
Hey, they have in-match betting these days.
Yeah.
So it is possible. And we can work that out with our friends at Rivers down the road.
It's neat to watch Greenspan, isn't it, Gino? I mean, as the game goes on, and his confidence when he starts winning all the balls in the air, you can kind of bet money on it that he's going to get most of them.
Wow, what a shove from Watson. It's not going to matter.
No call. There it is.
There's the whistle. Top of the table. The Pittsburgh Riverhounds are tied for first in the Eastern Conference. They've done it. They slay Indy 11 3-0. Hounds win. Hounds win on one of the best nights in Highmark Stadium history. What an enjoyable evening of soccer if you're cheering for the black and gold. And how about, well, we talked all game about Indy trying to turn this around. They had chances, but it was Pittsburgh that took advantage of them.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, some crazy chances too. I mean, these balls that were misheaded back and off the post for them first, and then we had one that was the same thing. They had another post down here, Indy, that could have switched everything around. I think it was still only 2-0 at that time.
Yeah.
And came back out. So it was back and forth. But I mean, the main thing is the 3 goals that were scored were like picture book goals. And
well, I'm going to go back. I mean, 3 brilliant goals from the Riverhounds, but I'm going to go back to the weather delay because we saw Indy coming out exceptionally strong. We have not seen the Riverhounds really chasing the game or really forced to drop off and play so deep and at home, especially early in the match all season. And Indy 11 really came through, and then after the break, it was all the Riverhounds the rest of the game.
That's right.
Well, we'll wrap it up after this. A happy night at Highmark. Keep it here on ESPN+.
When Western Pennsylvania's largest automotive retailer begins selling the region's most popular brand.
Chevrolettionary. which also describes our grand opening offers.
Introducing the all-new #1 Cochran Chevrolet, where you'll find a special 2-year lease on a sporty Trax from just $99 a month. The unequaled Equinox as low as $139 a month, plus $1,000 extra for trades at the all-new #1 Cochran Chevrolet.
Pittsburgh Riverhounds SC season tickets for the 2020 season are now on sale with special early bird pricing. Until October 5th, fans can enjoy a 20% discount on all season tickets from club level to the supporter section and everything in between. For more information on season tickets, please visit riverhounds.com or call the box office at 412-865-GOAL.
Sure, this is one of the more enjoyable team talks of the year for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds Soccer Club. But Bob Lilly always has something to say after the conclusion of 90-plus minutes. And I'm sure he's encouraged. I saw him with both hands extended in the air after Forbes made his move and scored his second goal. So has to love what he saw tonight. Nico Brett scoring in the opening half. I still can't get over that one because that loosened up everything. That is going to go down as the pivotal moment, I think.
Oh, really, Matt? It just like opened up the gates then, and people started feeling comfortable. Once you get to see that ball go in the back of the net, as a team, you just all kind of like, well, we're on the board now. We've got to go keep going and put the pressure on.
But the Riverhounds came out really after the weather delay, came out playing very, very well and really forced Indy 11 to sit pretty deep, and you know, that strike, as you said, Paul, just really loosened it up, and then it was all guns blazing after that.
That's one of the hardest strikes I've seen in a long, long time.
And then Kenardo Forbes could rival him with his goal right short of 40 minutes. Dabo gives him the ball in open space. He buries top left corner after Brett goes to the right side netting. And Evan Newton is still probably shaking his head, and he's going to be shaking his head for a while at some of the goals that went in on him today.
Yeah, and then for sure, all three goals were well taken, well struck. I mean, the Kenardo Forbes third goal was just a textbook composure, patience, and then that quick little burst and bomb to the back post.
And I think after that first goal too, we saw the Hounds really settle down and really started opening up the game and working really hard. Kerr, everybody getting more and more space and creating more and more opportunities and keeping possession for long periods of time.
Indy had a few opportunities to try to get back in the game. They could not capitalize, and I think that was the difference. And the strikes from the Riverhounds obviously put them at, gave them the confidence to continue to go forward, to continue to play lockdown defense. And we saw that back to Ivanki, Azil, Adewale, Greenspan, nothing can get by them. And once Indy was behind, they had to resort to throwing balls in the air. And Joe Greenspan must have been in double-digit clearances again for the season.
Shots ended up pretty close, 12-10 in favor of the Hounds. Couple of posts for Indy, and well, that's all she wrote. Updated standings, Pittsburgh and Nashville right there at the top. Nashville with the edge right now because of the extra win, but Pittsburgh can go ahead even on Tuesday at Loudon with at least a point. You know they're going to be going for all three, and you also know we'll see more squad rotation. But as we saw tonight, Danny Rovira, a guy off the bench, a guy not from the usual 11, can make a huge difference. And the depth of this Hounds squad has impressed me all season long.
I was about to say, I mean, no problem rotating this squad because anyone that Bob has brought in has done the job, done the business.
Oh, no, and some of the guys, the younger guys that he's put in as well, I mean, they've all done the job, and I think that's where Bob Lilly is really good in regards to picking his players and picking his times when he puts them in and when he takes them out, and kind of like gives them a rest at the right times. And he's done a great job this season so far. And I just think they're all, they're all firing on all cylinders right now after this game. You know,
everything is good. I mean, they're well rested. I think they look fresh. They look like they have a lot of energy. We're Indy 11, obviously on a brutal road schedule right now, but they were tired at the end. You know, they were a little bit. They weren't as sharp with their passes. They were maybe a step off. The quickness of Forbes and Nico Brett in the throughout the game was difficult for them.
Yeah, I think all the team. I mean, I feel for Indy actually. I think this is a really blow for them because this is 3 games in a row that they've lost on the road. So it's tough, and they're going on the road again.
Yep, their first consecutive losses all year, make it 3 in a row. Well, Coach Lilly said this week he thinks the team's drawing energy from staying in touch with the leaders. Now they are the leaders, or at least tied with Nashville at the end of the night. What a night at Highmark Stadium for Paul Child and Gene Klein. I'm Matt Geica saying good night from the South Side.
Good night.
Good night.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.